The only try of the match came ironically from Leicester and looked like settling the tie. The flowing 65-yard move was finished off by Tony Underwood, who kicked past buzzer and won the race for the line. But in injury time, Wasps stole the match when Rob Andrew landed a penalty. England's batsmen face a daunting task if they're to establish a first innings lead in the fourth test in Adelaide. In just under 3 hours' time, they'll resume on 95 for 2, 291 runs behind Australia's total.
Mark Waugh, the architect of Australia's recovery on day one, and a major threat to England's chances today. But just when it seemed he might mark his test debut with a double century, Waugh played perhaps his first loose stroke and was bowled off the inside edge by Malcolm. Greg Matthews survived to reach a slow but invaluable half-century. Once again he was proving a major obstacle to England's plans. Craig McDermott, recalled to the side, lent solid support with his highest test score of 46. And by the time Bruce Reid was the last man out, Australia had reached a highly satisfactory 386. Needing a brisk, trouble-free start to their reply, England instead lost 2 quick wickets in typically careless fashion. First, Upton leg before to McDermott for naught, and in the same over, Lamb, back after injury, caught behind, also without scoring. But Graham Gooch set about rescuing his side from the distinctly unpromising 11 for 2. And with Robin Smith approaching something like his true form after a miserable series, runs came at a healthy rate. Gooch reached his half-century shortly before the close of play. Much will still depend on the captain if England are to obtain the large first innings lead they require.
Tonight's main news again. Iraq has launched more Scud missiles tonight against Israel and Saudi Arabia. It seems defensive Patriot missiles intercepted all of them. And the oil slick in the Gulf now covers more than 200 square miles. Part of it is said to be on fire. Newsnight is on BBC Two at 10 to 11. The next scheduled news here on 1 is at 10 past midnight. For now, good night.
BBC Breakfast News will be here at 7 tomorrow morning with an update on the Gulf War, and then again at 8 o'clock with a full report.
Good evening to you. It looks like more of the same, I think, for most of us. That area of high pressure is still there, and it looks happy to hang around for quite a few days to come. Now, there's been a lot of cloud around today, not only over Britain, but over the continent as well. Some quite nasty weather there in the Mediterranean. But that cloud has been broken. Here early this afternoon, some good breaks over Ireland into northeast England. But recently, as you can see, they have filled in, but it's unreliable, and I think those breaks will continue to come along over parts of Ireland and into northern England, and where those breaks last for any length of time, that's the most likely area for some mist and fog. A little bit of drizzle further south, some drizzle in the north of Scotland. The north of Scotland, quite a mild night actually, temperatures holding up there nicely, but a cold night in store everywhere else with a widespread frost away from coastal areas, that is. The high still around tomorrow, so the weather very much like today. Wales, central and southern parts of the country, quite gloomy, cloudy and overcast, but dry for the most part. A little bit of drizzle in the far north of Scotland, but otherwise those northern areas a little bit brighter. The best of any sunshine probably in eastern Scotland and northeast England. A cold day in store for much of us, 2 or 3 degrees there, only sort of the mid to upper 30s Fahrenheit, somewhat milder in the north of Scotland, and on Monday, well, it's more of the same.
At Television First?
To have 2 women with Egg hosting a show. Well, I'm with Egg. Jennifer's with Football Stadium.
Featuring glamorous friends.
Hi, Ruby.
And your very own game show.
Was she supposed to look like that, or was there an accident?
A bit of a dog's dinner.
There's no water here. We can't mix it. Never mind. We'll just forget that. Now, you can always use this ready-made stuff.
It's the show to be on, the full wax, in 50 minutes.
Well, now on 1, the relatively sane worlds of a talk show host and an ex-convict collide in Midnight Caller.